Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another Watch Soup Sunday episode 16 now. I think me and Clayton were just talking before. We don't not really sure about the episode number. I think it's 16. Anyway, we're gonna go with 16 today. And I think we got a good one for you guys tonight. I am joined here, of course, with my co-hosts Clayton from the Watchdog podcast and Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe channel. Sanjay, what's going on, man? Happy Sunday. How
Happy
are you?
Sunday. Not too much going on. Had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Played some soccer with the kids today. Barbecued. Spent
Ah,
time with family and church. It was good.
yeah.
It was a good time.
So, those wildfires, have they been affecting your area lately or at all? Or
Last time we saw haze was last week.
Hmm.
So it's either the winds have shifted
Yeah,
or the wildfires maybe are in a bit more control. I'm a little oblivious to the news for the most
yeah,
part. So yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. Hey, what are you wearing on wrist today?
My wrist is a Black Bay 54 on a deluxe
Nice.
strap. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, I
nice
like that
strap. Nice
strap. Yeah.
pairing.
Yeah. It's a Chrome XL deluxe strap.
Very, very nice. Very
So
nice.
I like it.
What is it, like cow leather or
Yes,
yeah.
a cow leather from what's the place? Shell Cordovan. Can't remember the place that does that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
horse leather.
Yeah.
But this is the cow leather version of that, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But
Very nice. It's a
Nice.
great
yeah,
combo. I think that watch, as you know, because it looks pretty much like the Black Bay 58, except for small proportions and slight differences. But I mean, and on a brown leather strap, that thing looks killer, man.
yeah,
Always thought
it
that.
does.
Always
It
thought
does
that way.
look
Yep.
good.
Hey Clayton, what's up?
Hello. Hi.
How you doing? How's
I not my best week ever. Just one thing after another it seems, but
yeah.
hey, all good. And what a way to end the week on a positive note with you guys. So I'm
Oh
excited.
wow.
It's always fun. It's always fun, isn't it? What do you got on
Yeah.
wrist today, Kev?
I'm wearing the old Air King.
Ah, the Air King, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking at rubber B straps, but I still can't. I don't know. I still like the bracelet too much, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much I will really want to wear it on the rubber. And those are a bit of an investment, so
Sure
I'm not
there. Yep.
sure I'm there yet. But I've been looking at them. They have they're actually making one for the Air King, so they don't really have anything. But there's other straps I could get, obviously. But Rubber B has something in the
Mm.
works for the Air King. Their website said so.
Rubber V is great. I had one for my sub, and it's great. It's
Yep.
super comfortable. I mean, it is an investment, right? It's not cheap,
Right. Right.
but once you make peace with spending that kind of money for a rubber strap, it really, I feel, is worth every penny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how good I think it was.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, I'm wearing a G-Shock here with
Wow.
the little negative display with the black bezel and the green strap, military strap. I was like, I was gonna give this to my brother-in-law, and he was like, "Yeah, it's too military looking." I'm I was about to text him. I was about to call him some name. I'm like, "What's the matter with you?" Anyway, hey, to each his own. To each his own.
All
Anyway,
right.
And that's bad how?
yeah, I just no, I know, but I mean, like I don't know, and
Just
not
say
that
it's
it's
not tactical. It's
Uh,
tact.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I like the look. I like that army green kind of look, camo. I like that anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, dude. I mean, it's a great watch. Anyway, he's great. He's a great guy. He's just slightly different taste. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's say hello to the chat.
I
Let's say
don't
hello to
know.
the chat.
I don't know about this guy. I
No, no, he's a great
just
guy. He
kidding.
just doesn't like army. Again, um, let's say hello to chat. Hey, quicker than drawing. Hey, what's up? Going on? Nice to see you here. Bill K is here. Wilson is here. Scott is here. What's going on, Scott? BJ, what's going on, man? How you doing? Dream Juggler. Hola, amigos. Hola, usted. Um, oh, Clayton and Sanjay, great job on episode 82 of
Thank
the
you, sir.
Watch
Having a
Talk
lot of
podcast.
fun. Thank you.
I think Sanjay's got to be clearly right the front runner and most appearances on the Watch Out podcast by far,
Yes,
right?
yes. We need you back on.
I know I've done two. I want to do three.
I want to do like an alphabet soup idea thing. So we need to do that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I always
I'm
feel
in.
bad asking because I know you have a lot going on and you're
Nah,
doing so
nah.
many streams. But yeah, I would love to have you.
We'll do it again. Hey,
All right.
Brent's here. What's going on, Brent? Steve Time Hill's here. Wilson wearing the Peacock 2 tonight. All right. Brent is wearing the U50 STR. Excuse me. Great watch. Hey, Dibs here. Hello, boring people. What's up? Dibs says the sweetest things. Um, Junior Jogo's wearing the BLNR. Nice. Caliber is here. How you doing? What's going on, Caliber? Um, Wolfgang. What? And that's so good. Hey, as somebody who's a big G-Shock fan, Wolfie is, you know how it is to get one, and it's always a good gift, especially when it's a John Mayer, right, Wolfie. Zinn double layer textile straps are so amazing. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Scott. They are good. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Nate Dog, hey guys, awesome, awesome. Jim is here. What is up? Um, Wayban, what's going on? He's wearing his Sarb 017
Wow.
today. Caliber wearing the 556. Justin wearing the Planet Ocean. We got some good watches here today.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim was looking for a rubber B for his 216570. Hear good things about them, but that is a hunk of money. Absolutely. You kind of have to like sit with it for a while and eventually
Right.
make your peace with it. And then yeah, I think they're worth it. That's just me personally. Anyway, hey, I also would like to give a shout out to Horology Talk in Facebook for allowing us to advertise that our stream is there tonight.
Saw
So thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Bear, and all the guys there who I reach out to them and say, hey, let's put it out there because I feel like this is a really great show,
Yeah.
and not to pat ourselves in the back, but it's fun. It's a good discussion every week, and the chat has a really good time. So yeah, why not spread the love, right?
Right.
Um,
Three out of three panel members agree that this is a great
yeah,
watch.
Yes.
yeah, that's all that matters, right? Zenith Shadow today for BJ. Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Um, all right, so we have, if this is your first time at watching us here at Watch Soup, we take a couple of videos, 3 videos usually. We each pick one from the previous week by a content creator in the horological or YouTube watch space, and we talk about it. We discuss, we analyze, and we get input from the chat. So, soup's on.
Soup's on.
Well
I
done.
still, yeah, I still feel a little weird with the delivery. Anyway, hey, let's start off with my pick this week. EDC watches, formerly I think EDC Gunner. I remember EDC Gunner. I think he's in Eastern Europe. Really nice, humble guy, and he was one of the first channels actually that I came across to when I started going down the YouTube rabbit hole of watch content creators, and just really liked him and his take and his collection, and just like I said, like a really humble and nice guy. And I think recently may have changed his channel name to EDC Watches because it used to be EDC Gunner. Anyway, so he did a short video about somebody who reached out to him and asked, is a 2-piece watch collection a collection, and would you call it a collection? And so EDC Gunner was saying that um, he says if it's a there's a lot of people who have like a couple of watches right out there that he wouldn't consider necessarily watch collectors. You may have like a G-Shock or a Seiko diver, right? And that you could do like your lawn work with, and then you maybe have like a one watch that's a little bit nicer. They just go out and do things. You go to work, you go to out with people or dinner and whatnot, and you have that watch. Doesn't necessarily make it a collection, but he says that there is a potential for a 2-piece, 2 watches to be a collection, especially if it's thought out, if it's eclectic or thought out. I'm using his words. So like you can have like the G-Shock or the nice Seiko diver, and then maybe have like a Reverso or a Calatrava. And he's like, I think that is a collection, right? And then he goes down further, and he says what really, in his opinion, makes a collection, or is if you're in that sweet spot at least, and you have like three watch collection, right? So, and he was reminiscing about like when he first started collecting, how he thought, his three watch icons, right, that he would collect, and that would be like the Speedmaster, a Sub, and a Calatrava, and how that, sometimes, he would think to himself, or substitute, one of those watches, if he couldn't get it, with another watch, and maybe were there worthy substitutes to those three pieces. Now this is all his opinion. That's what he likes. He thinks that those three watches are iconic. So like if you put it in a Primera, it's not really going to satisfy him. He talked about Daytona, as a chronograph, but then he'd be too Rolex heavy with the Sub. So he was, playing with some ideas about there, but he was really focusing on that three watch collection, a sweet spot, and collecting, icons. And so, I felt like it was kind of like we talk about this kind of topic, every once in a while, like the idea of going down to three watches, the mythical idea that people say, like, I don't know if I could ever do that. Uh, I don't know why three was chosen, but somebody chose it, and people started running with it. But anyway, let's just play this exercise. He wanted to talk about, like, can you name, what did you think of like the, iconic watches that he, feels like it would make a perfect collection, and can you name like a better iconic trio than that? And so, again, Speedmaster, Sub, and Calatrava, for him is iconic. It's hard to disagree with those. I mean, the Sub is very, very iconic. So is the Speedmaster, and the Calatrava. I don't know if it's the most iconic of Patek Philippe watch out there, but for him, it is. And I guess, guys, what I'm trying to would like to know is, like, what did you think of the discussion here, and what is your idea of an iconic three-piece collection? Clayton, have you ever thought about that?
I guess like I'm not always drawn to. I've owned several of the icons, and none of them are around. I think my tastes veer a little left of that, a little bit, or a
Mhm.
little right of that, however you want to say it. Obviously, the watches he owned. Yeah, the Calatrava I thought was interesting because I think of that's not what I think of. I think of that as like I'll never own one in a million years, but almost maybe like entry level. But it's also a dress watch, so it's different than some of the more famous and popular Pateks, right?
Yeah.
I know some of their others are also, but so many of the hear about a lot, the Aquanaut and
Hmm.
the and all that. So yeah, I mean, great collection. If you can get those three watches and get out and you're happy with it, like job well done, sir.
Yeah.
I think that's excellent. For me, yeah, I don't know. I'm so far away from a three, being content with a, as I think we're going to talk about in the next video
Yeah.
too. Like these two are complement each other well. I don't know. Like for me right now, I think maybe the Moser as my dress watch, Air King, and then I have that Vogard World Timer. It gives me a fidget spinner rotating bezel. I like to have one of those. So yeah, if I could sell everything else and just wear those, and then have a Garmin if I can cheat and
Mm.
have like a smartwatch for work, and I could get out, like I'd be pretty happy with that. But I can't get out. I'm in this thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, iconic is hard because I don't know, I'm not drawn to a lot of them like to buy.
Sure.
I obviously love them and think they're great and respect them and all that, but to own
Yeah.
them, I kind of am going a different direction. But
Yeah. Totally get that. Sanjay, what about you? What do you think of the video? And what do you, if you had three watches, iconic watches, what would they be?
So I'm of the opinion that two or three watches is not a collection,
Mm.
right? I would say it's a good start to a collection, but I think if you're out after one or two or three, um, one watch collection again. I mean no disrespect to people who believe these are collections, but I I think you're at that point you're not a collector. It's not a watch collection. You can still be an enthusiast and have two or three watches. So you could be a watch enthusiast, um, but I don't think it's a collection. I really don't. Even if you have a sub and a G Shock, or what was his example, Calatrava and a G Shock, or something,
Yeah.
something
Mm.
like that. I mean, you just have your one watch, and
But couldn't it
I,
be a state of mind though, Sanjay? Like, couldn't it be just a state of mind? Like, you may not think you may think it's a start of a collection,
yeah,
but if I think I have a collection, and a collection, I mean, like, we can define it as maybe two or more, right? I mean, the two or more things is
Yeah.
a collection. Like, I don't know what the magic number is. I think it's two. It's because it's more than one. One is definitely not a collection, right?
right,
A
right.
collection of things could be 10, could be 500. Couldn't it be two? Couldn't it be
See,
three?
it could be actually, but it would have to be like one of Bobby K had a comment. He said he has 3 Omega Snoopies, right, or 3
Mm-hmm.
Snoopy watches. I think at that point that is a collection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's got a even more specific theme than just watch, um, I think it becomes a watch collection, because you could say that you have a broad collection, like in a broad sense. If you have 3 watches, you kind of have a collection.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think when you're a watch enthusiast, and it's all like subjective, but if you'd have to narrow it down further, I think, for it to be a collection of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's only just the beginning, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like if you're out, I feel like you're not a. It could be a collection, but you're not a collector. So maybe I can rephrase that. It could be a collection, but you're not actually collecting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what the answer is. I'm just like, was just playing devil's advocate here. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
Because I always, I think of myself as more of an enthusiast at this point than a collector, because I'm with you. I think like, well, I think a collection, and I think EDC Gunner was kind of alluding to this as well. But there's got to be a purpose, right? There's got to be a purpose and,
Yeah.
and an objective, I feel. Now, that's just
yeah,
my definition. Somebody can have a totally definition of that, but
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
my thinking. Like, I just want to make that clear. So, like, for me, like, whether it's, icons or it's 3 Snoopies, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, that to me is a collection.
Right.
And I don't know if a two watches is a collection or not, even though I've defined a collection in my mind as anything two or more.
Mhm.
But if I have a purpose behind it, maybe, it's just a subjective question, right?
It is. It is.
There's no right
It's
proper answer.
It's
yeah. It's not like
mindset, I
some.
think. Yeah.
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 It's not something like no sane person would die on this hill, so to speak, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like hey, I don't believe that, but I feel like everyone can kind of coexist in this thing, as opposed to like the
Mm-hmm.
homage versus replica conversation. I think people die
Yeah.
on those hills.
Yeah.
Um, but
But circling back to his video and at the end, do you like? Let's play the game. 3
yeah,
watches, 3 icons.
oh,
Oh,
you lost
hello.
with your legs.
Oh, am I here?
Oh
Can
yeah,
you see
yeah,
me?
you're
No,
back.
there you're
You're back.
back.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I guess maybe it's the internet connection. Anyway, what I was saying is, so let's play the game. Let's play the
Yeah,
game that he's saying. Like 3 watches, 3 icons. Like, what would your icons be if you've ever thought of it?
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of a contrarian, like Clayton.
Mm,
So I would pick the icons that are not the immediate icons, I guess. So
mm-hmm,
for a dive, like a good sports watch, I'd probably pick Blancpain 50 Fathoms,
mm,
Bathyscaphe, like a smaller one if it's for me. But yeah, well, let's say Blancpain 50 Fathoms. For a dress watch, I'd probably go with Reverso
mm,
or Cartier Tank.
Nice.
mm-hmm,
Um,
yeah, iconic. Yeah,
and yeah, chronograph of some sort. Uh, I,
you've
I
had
don't
the
know.
Speedy, right? You've had
Yeah,
it.
I, I, I would, I would pick the Speedy personally, but I don't know if that was the only chronograph I'd have. If I'd pick that one,
Mm,
but yeah, let's say Speedy. I'll say
yeah,
Speedy. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see what the chat says. Big Risk, are 50 watches a collection or an obsession? Asking for a friend. Collect. Obsession starts at 500. Jim is saying, at least I have another 150 before I hit that obsession. Okay. Just in our one watch collection only exists when you trade everything in for a pull prof. And here's Bobby's comment: the three Snoopies make it the three-piece collection for sure. Um, Nate Dogg says, I actually have three Speedmaster set, Sapphire Sandwich, Orange Brew Crown, Pointer Date, and Seiko SLA 051.
Nice
Yeah,
collection.
nice collection. Cartier Crash, Cartier Clocher, Cartier Santos.
That would be a collection.
That's
Yeah.
some Cartier. That's a Cartier collection, right? I
That's a
mean,
Cartier.
there you
Yeah.
go. What's Bobby saying? What's the number 4 collection? Yeah, I mean, like, again, I think it's really subjective, right?
Yeah. My
Scott
wife
is
has more watches than I have. She has a lot of watches. They're all mostly affordable. She is not a watch collector. She just
yeah,
has a lot of watches.
right.
Where I
Absolutely.
thoughtfully curate. She sees a watch, she likes it, she buys it. No rhyme or reason. She just doesn't think about it. Doesn't care if she doesn't wear them. She hasn't worn some of those in years. I mean, the batteries die, and
Yeah,
she doesn't even notice for a long time. So I would not call her a collector, but she has more watches than all of us combined, probably.
yeah,
Three
yeah.
of us. So, but she's not a collector.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
Scott saying, I don't collect watches. I collect watch experiences. For example, Cartier Santos is better than a restaurant concert. I think Scott might be referring to somebody there, not himself.
We have
Just
no
enough.
idea who he's talking about.
No idea. Okay. Yeah. Right.
I
If
almost picked
you're,
that video this week.
yeah. Me too, actually. If you are intentionally acquiring pieces that fits your obsession, then it's a collection. If you have a bunch of random watches, all cool. It is enthusiasm. Um, I think Jim Jugger, I think the thought that goes into a collection is more important than the quantity. There
Mm.
might be some truth to that.
Yeah.
I feel that if you own 3 watches, says Lynx, you have a collection. Yeah, and I think when you're thinking of the letter of the law, right? I think you're right, Lynx. You do, whether you collect watches or not, right? It's a collection, right? My collection will be complete when I find the perfect watch. Caliber has a German watch collection, 9 watches, down from 11. We've been saying it depends on intention and intentionality. A closet full of shoes doesn't make not necessarily a shoe collection, but 2 watches can be a collection if you mean it to be. I'm thinking the way you're thinking, We've been a little bit. I think I'm leaning that way. Um, anyway, here's the thing: most of us are smaller players in the watch collecting world. Tim Masso wouldn't be inviting us to his show anytime soon. So who are we to judge? You can have a 0 watch collection. Sounds good, Scott. Any last words? Any final thoughts before we move on to the next topic, guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So moving on. Anyway, I forgot to give mine. Yeah. I'm
Oh yeah.
sub
Bobby, what's your iconic 3 watch collection? There we go.
sub and speedy, right? And
Okay.
I think Dress Watchman, I don't know.
Jaeger and Benziger.
But that's not iconic, right?
That's true. That's true. You're
You
right.
know, like when I think of iconic dress watches, I mean, like, let me come back to you. Like, I've been struggling with this one for at least 24 hours. So let me come back to you on that one. I promise I'll have something, I think, by the end of the night. Okay, so related sort of topic. Jeffrey McMahon, why you'll never buy your dream watch. And this was Sanjay's pick. Tell us about this one, Sanjay.
Yeah, I think it's very closely related.
Yeah.
Because a lot of discussion we were having previously kind of apply here. But I really enjoyed this video. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed this video from Jeff. So well, yeah. So
G5 fum fo.
Yeah.
I liked how he switched that so that he could rhyme it with Grand Sake. That was really good. So the point of this video, he had 2 objectives. He said on the video was to make an argument or a rebuttal, or pair the argument and rebuttal of having a minimalist watch collection. And the second point was to prove that you will never buy your dream watch. Um, so uh, yeah, so he had 2 points toward the end where he didn't have an answer or a rebuttal. I thought maybe we could play the game and provide a rebuttal for those 2 points. But I'll go through the first 3 points really quick. He said a minimalist knows what they want, and uh, yeah, so they have like reflexive. I forgot what a reflexive admiration. Anyway, so what his rebuttal was is that it's kind of boring to know what you want, right? You're never gonna get a surprise. You're always being pompous and you say you know what you want and stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah. If you say you know what you want and you don't really care about exploring other things, you're being really closed minded. Um, Next one was being a needy man child in terms of your materialism and having low spiritual maturity and stuff like that. It's interesting, interesting argument. I don't know where he's hearing this argument, but
I
um,
know where he's hearing it.
do you?
Oh yeah, it's the argument he has in his head.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
he's
okay,
having it with
yeah,
himself.
Yeah.
right. So you're saying maybe we're all, in a sense, man children. And he said, what difference is 3 watches versus 12 watches or
Mm.
something like that? And when it comes to being a man child or not being a man child, the other thing was, I don't want to be a hoarder. I'm doing a kind of his arguments. I'm doing a disservice here. So
Mm.
guys, go watch the video. Um, I'm blowing through it. So he says, I don't want to be a hoarder is the third argument. Um, and he was saying a hoarder is someone who has unplanned accumulation of things. We kind of spend time thinking about this. We're kind of meticulous when we select our watches. So we're not hoarders. So putting that to rest kind of thing. So the two interesting ones was you will reduce watch rotation anxiety by having a minimal watch collection, and he said you kind of need to embrace watch rotation anxiety um, by having more watches, I guess. Do you guys have a cure for this or a rebuttal for this?
Well, so I've suffered from watch retention anxiety, right? Um, I do think I have a cure for it, though, right?
Yeah,
And it requires, so like the 2 watches that have stayed in my collection the longest, right, are my
right.
first 2 luxury pieces that I bought. They've been in my collection for over 15 years. I bought one watch one year, and a year and a half later, I bought the other watch. And I think what can combat rotation anxiety, which requires a lot of patience and self-restraint, is slowing down purchases,
Hmm.
slowing it
Mhm.
down to like one. I know. Hold on to your seats. Like one, like a year, right? This is if I said I don't take it myself, right?
So we'll never get
Uh,
there, right?
right. But I think it's really really possible. I get watch rotation anxiety when I somehow like in a blackout accumulate like 5 watches in like 1 month, and then
Hmm.
I'm like, what am I gonna? How am I gonna wear all these and then I feel like the irresponsible economic or financial irresponsibility. I'm like, why did I do that? Like why? And I can't wear these things, and I'm spending all the money. But if I buy that watch, right, and I
Hmm.
buy it once a year, right, and I wear it a lot, then I'm ready to kind of like put it down and take it out for special occasions like I do with my Girard Perregaux and like I do with my Panerai. And I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine with it. So for me, and I'm not saying this is for what's going to work for you guys or for anybody, but for me, I believe that I have the cure for that. And man, I just don't know if I want to take that medicine yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Clayton, your
You'll
thoughts?
prescribe it, but you won't take it yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah, with you, I think slowing down purchases now. For me, it's been about one per month this year so far, which if I look back, I write down everything I buy. I keep track. And last year at this time, I'd already been like 16, 17. So I'm improving, but I think what you say has some merit, that just slowing down. I don't mind, adding a new watch into the rotation if it's been a while since I bought one, because it's kind of just adding some fresh blood and it's welcome, right? Also, what I will do if I'm feeling that wrist rotation anxiety, I will put a certain number, like have a 3-day, 5-day rotation and be strict with that for like a month. And sometimes that just slows down because I feel like I'm wearing everything. So even if I want to wear something else, I'll be like, all right, nope, 5 days is up. It's on to the next one. And that can also lead to, well, I didn't really want to make it the whole 5 days. So I think that one can maybe go, like, because I didn't really want to wear it. Now with the Moser, I'm not wearing it as much in the summer because it's on a leather strap and it's hot. So I don't mind that one's sitting a little bit more because it was planned. I kind of knew going into the hot summer that, yeah, I probably wasn't going to wear a leather strap watch as much. Wearing it some, but not like I would in the colder months. So yeah, I think what you said, Bobby, is makes a lot of sense. Just slowing down. If we could just slow down and just think of like how we can save for watches pretty quick if we really try. Like I know Sanjay makes some real sacrifices. He'll skip lunch even, he said, if he didn't bring one. Like we all have our ways that we can save. So yeah, if we just did that. But yeah, I'm with you. I haven't taken that pill or that medication yet either. But I will just have a strict rotation, like 3 to 5 days. That usually helps me get through a period where I'm feeling a little anxious.
So I'm kind of going through this right now, in a sense, because I'm trying to. I talked about this in the live stream. I'm trying to analyze what watch to keep of the black base, right? Or to keep, if I'm to keep the black base at all. So the watch I really want to wear is my Zenith, and I haven't been able to wear it because I'm in this process of analyzing my two black base. So I have this anxiety where I want to wear the Zenith, but I'm holding it back. So I don't think this is at the same time, I don't think it's a big deal, right? I will eventually get to wear my Zenith, right? Just so this is a cure for the watch anxiety sort of thing, not the minimalism thing. Just accept the anxiety and move on. And when you get to the point where you can solve that anxiety, it's put the new watch on, right? If you feel like you want to swap watches 3 times a day, do it if you can. If you're near your watch box, and that will solve the anxiety. Maybe it'll create some other kind of problem, but it'll solve the rotation anxiety. So the thing is, this is not a valid argument for minimalism. I think, because I think if I just had 1, 2, or 3 watches, I would be bored. And that's a worse blight upon me than rotation anxiety. That's me
That's a
personally.
trunk full of watches heading to the AD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, right now with me rebuilding the collection, I will eventually only have 3 watches, but that's not. I'm not calling it at that point. Right? I will have more watches, and So I think watch minimalism, in the end, will be a greater curse than the rotation anxiety.
I like how Jeff's number is going up, because remember, like when I think the first episode of Watch Soup, it was like he was going to stick to 3 or 4. Now it's 7,
and he's not addressing it. He's just like, oh,
well, that's good. I'm glad for him, actually. Like he's comfortable with having some more watches, so that's good. That's a good thing, probably.
And the last thing was, we all want to have a connection with the dream watch, right? Just that one watch, and that is not like the cure to the minimalism, because the minimalist, according to Jeff McMahon, only wants 3 watches. But apparently we all want just that one watch. Is that true with you guys? Do you just
No,
want one watch?
No,
Yeah,
no.
me neither.
no.
Me neither. Um, and that led to his argument that you will never get your dream watch. I'm sorry. What was it? Yeah. You will never buy your dream watch. Because then you'll have to sell all your existing watches to buy it. And then that's the end of the story. That's the end of your story. You're irrelevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're happy, and this the hobby is over for you. So good night. But
yeah,
I I I, I don't know. I disagree. I disagree very strongly, because there's no dream watch. The dream is a
mm,
lie, right? He says that his dream watch is a Planet Ocean. Say he does get it, he's not going to become irrelevant because he's going
No.
to have problems with that Planet Ocean,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have videos to make about that
Oh,
Planet Ocean
yeah.
yeah.
and the new anxieties that come with
I
that
think a
Planet Ocean.
year's worth of videos on the planet Ocean alone would be wildly entertaining.
Yes, yes, yeah, and it will be so glorious. Please, Jeff, get the Planet Ocean. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are about that Dream Watch. Whether it exists. We mentioned earlier the perfect watch doesn't exist, right? Now the perfect watch isn't equal to the Dream Watch, but I think it's pretty close, and I don't think that Dream Watch will become a nightmare watch eventually
Mm,
if you allow for it to, right?
I think there's a dream watch, not the dream watch,
mm,
right? Like
Mm.
I would consider owning a Moser a dream for me. I never thought it was possible. I attained it, and in no way, shape, or form am I done. So it was a dream watch. Now I go to the next one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dream watch. I'm not sure that. Because I mean, gosh, there are times where I mean, I think probably we all maybe felt, or at least I did, maybe when I got the Explorer, it's like, all right, this is going to be it. I'm gonna
Mm,
maybe not it, but it's gonna, cut the anxiety and the want for new things. Like I'll be able to, enjoy this for a while. I no, I think I was probably looking at new watches like that night again. So
yeah,
yeah, it's just the hunt is over. We have it. Like there's okay, I have it. What's next?
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. I think we're. It sounds like we're wrapping up Dream Watch with Grail Watch, right? And
Mm.
using the terms interchangeably. I don't really. I personally don't see it that way. I think a Dream Watch can be a watch of that that you aspire for, right? And necessarily it's not a grail piece, it's not necessarily unattainable,
Mm.
but you can make your dreams come true, right? And then like you get your dream watch and then like you get it, and then you have more dreams and then you have another
That's
dream
true.
watch.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Sure.
mean?
Mm.
So I know it's semantics here, but I mean like in a sense that I just don't what it comes down to, can I just live with one watch? And I've never really ever thought that that was ever possible for me. Have I thought about how nice it would be? Yeah,
Mm.
like very, once in a while, I would think to myself, "Ah, wouldn't it be just nice to just have one watch?" But it has nothing to do with the one watch. It's just like the obsessive mentality that will not go away because I'll just find something else to obsess over, right? So, yeah, I mean, I can't see myself with one watch. Can't see myself with just three watches. But I'm not the kind of guy who's going to have like 20 or 30 watches either. I'm going to be somewhere in between 3 and probably 20, right?
Right.
At some point, and if I can look, I just turned 50, right? If I really maintain to like one watch, a collection watch a year, and I point that out specifically collection watch because of my channel. And Sandra, you'll know a little bit about this. You sometimes you buy watches for the channel just to review. So there is that, and then you sell it, whatever, and probably lose a little money. That's fine. But like if I can maintain like one watch until for the next 10 years, well, that's 10 watches. You know what I mean? That's 10 watches with added to the two or three that I have already. So that's where that number is plausible, even though it's between 3 and 20, and it's kind of funny when I say that, but I mean it's possible,
Hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's catch up with the chat, and then
Yeah.
if anyone has final thoughts on the video, we'll chime in. You don't have to wear every watch you collect. A coin collector doesn't spend his coins. Yeah, I mean, like, I see what you mean. I don't know if it's an apples to apples comparison there, but I get what you're trying to say there, Bruno.
It's a watches
Um,
to coins comparison.
what was that?
It's a
It's a
watches to
watch just
coins
the coins.
comparison.
Yeah. Hey, Lynx wants to know what do you guys think about or he's asking in the chat about the Beaumarchais Clifton Bowmatic. I'm sort of planning to purchase a final grail for the future. I think that's a good looking watch.
Yeah,
I don't know about Beaumarchais as a brand, just because like I just feel like they've been around forever, but it's just like they just get no love. I think they're a Swatch Group brand, right?
Mhm.
So
no,
No.
are they LVMH?
Yeah, the IWC group,
Oh,
LVMH,
Richemont.
Richemont.
Yeah,
Richemont,
Richemont Group.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they are. They are Richemont, yeah.
yeah.
Um, let's see here.
Because they essentially have the same movement as IWC uses in the Ingenua, right?
Yeah.
The Riviera is really nice. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen that, Links. I really enjoy the Riviera.
Yeah. Dib seems not to be a fan of Jeff. Too much logging off. Okay, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Hope you
Jeff is
come back.
great.
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
Jeff.
Jeff is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jeff.
Um, consolidate the entire collection to that one watch, then buy a beater for the beach, then need to add a blue dial, then and need to add a grab and go quartz, right? So like the collection goes down to one, but then it seems to be growing, it grows again, right? Oh yeah, Wolfgang Dibbs seems moody, needs to take a nap, take up cigar, hobby probably. Yeah, yeah. No, Dib will be back. I think Dib will be back. Um, Jeff McMahon and Archie on a live stream, that would be interesting. Yeah, I don't think it'd last a second. I think they both
No,
like kill each other like verbally.
no, there would be. It just wouldn't work. Jeff's
Yeah,
Jeff's
yeah,
just too smart.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Um, just right. He can't watch Jeff too much drama. Oh, but I love the drama. Caliber, I'm okay with somewhere between 300 and 300.
And I say this with all the love in the world. It's just nice to see, like, because I think my anxiety about the hobby is like decreased a lot. But sometimes when I'm feeling like, what is wrong with me? Like, I have this much conflict over watches. Then to watch Jeff, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like we've said before, like finding solace and comfort in the fact that you're not alone in your struggles.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Identification helps. Okay, guys, what do you say we move on to
Wait,
the
I
next?
have
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
have
sorry. Yeah,
one more thought about this
yeah.
this one
Yeah,
dream watch thing, right?
absolutely.
Um, I've thought about this a lot, and it's such a romantic idea. Having the dream watch, seeing everyone's pictures of me have me wearing one watch. That's a great romantic idea until you realize it's a romantic idea, but you're dead. Um, and who cares what watch you wore, right?
Right.
Right,
So
right, right.
I mean, are you just gonna narrow yourself down to one dream watch, just so that your posterity remembers your watch? I mean, they're not gonna care really, and if you do that just for that, that's I mean, you're playing the long game, but there's no goal. So if you love watches, buy them.
Yeah, if you buy them,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure. Agreed.
yeah.
Steve is saying, Rob, Dib's pissed, yo. I mean, Steve's killing me, man, lately with these comments. It's hilarious. Again, if you know Steve,
Can you
he's
imagine Steve with Gen Z language? Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
no
I can.
cap. It's whack.
It is right. Okay, moving on. Final video. Britt Pearce, 7 watches that have issues that are small but bother me nonetheless. Clayton, this was your video. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I thought I had Sanjay on the podcast yesterday, and we sort of talked about this stuff. Concessions and compromises we're willing to make with some watches that we really love, and then those things that we don't like so much that are deal breakers. So I thought this might be a fun continuation of that conversation that we had. So, yep, she said, she has minuscule complaints. Overall, she really loves these watches, but there's just things about each one of these 7 watches that just get her a little bit. And she said that's the plight of being a YouTube content creator. Sometimes when you have to look critically at these watches, we focus on things that maybe the average person would not care about whatsoever, but as a reviewer you kind of have to go down to the minutia a little bit. So her first watch is the Rolex Daytona, and she said she owns this watch. She absolutely loves it. She said the size and thickness are just perfect, especially for an automatic chronograph. Just the thinness is amazing. It has PCLs, polished center links, and that is the thing that she really does not like about it. She likes the way they look, but they are scratch magnets. The clasp, especially, she works at a desk all day, so even a brushed clasp is going to pick up a lot of scratches, let alone a PCL. So I thought I would just ask you guys, how do you feel about polished center links? I've never owned a watch with them. I don't really love how they look necessarily. I wouldn't really care about the scratch thing. I mean, I'm sure if I looked at it, I'd be like, oh, I've owned this 2 days and this thing is already a mess. But yeah, have you guys owned PCL watches, and how do you feel about them? And how do you feel about the Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Daytona is a great watch. Man, I went to Watchbox about a year ago, and I met with we met as a group. We met with oh man, what's the one of the guys there? Oh man, I forget his name. And he has like the long blonde hair, or anyway. So he had a Daytona steel bezel black dial. And man, I was like, wow, that looks really Armand. Yeah, thanks, Wilson. That looks so good. And I was like, I had appreciation for Daytona, seen them before, but I don't know, it just hit it at the right moment. It fit his wrist perfectly. And I was like, man, this is a beautiful watch. Getting into the PCLs. So for me, it's a deal breaker when they're on a sport piece.
Yeah.
If it's a dressier piece, I think I'm okay with that. With Rolex particularly, you'll see more dressier piece with the Jubilee bracelets anyway.
Yes.
But for me, let's put it this way. It used to be a deal breaker with this first. It's not really so much. Like if somebody
on the Milgauss, I didn't get it. Like, why?
Yeah, that's an odd choice, right? So
Yeah.
but look, I mean, if I get a call from the Rolex City and says I have a Pepsi or Batman on a oyster bracelet, I'm running to get it. I'm not gonna let that stop me. I think it looks good on the GMT Masters. I'm just using Rolex as a reference here. But the Milgauss doesn't make any sense, right? So for me, it's like, it's a tough sell most of the time, especially if it's a sports watch. Sanjay, what?
I like PCLs, but at the same time, the most I spent on a PCL was probably on the Longines Hydro Conquest. And after a while, I brushed that bracelet myself. So I went through the effort to brush the PCLs.
I think Jody did that on his Aquaterra too.
He did.
Yeah.
He got someone else to do it, and they botched the job or something.
You did it yourself. Do it right? Was that to do it right? No.
Do it right, man. Yeah, I had like the sandpaper, the fine grit sandpaper that I found to be the closest approximation to the outer links, and I clamped it down, and then you put the bracelet down and you drag it as straight as possible. Gets the job done just right.
Yeah. Ballsy. I don't know if I can do that.
It was just a Hydro Conquest. So.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I'd rather not have PCLs, but I don't mind them now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, I don't think. Number 2, JLC Reverso. We talked about it earlier. It's obviously an icon. I didn't really pick icon, so I think that would be my iconic dress watch pick also. I think they're really cool. She talked about the price hikes, but that wasn't the thing that bothered her. It's a smudge magnet when you rotate the face, when you're handling it. Yeah, just a smudge magnet. Obviously, we've all owned watches. I think the Submariner for me was one of those watches that with that ceramic bezel, and I felt like, gosh, I don't even remember touching it. My grubby prints are all over it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys, pretty active on posting on Instagram and everything. I'm sure you've had your issues with smudge magnet watches before.
Yeah, not a deal breaker for me. I mean, I'll just, I have like those fabrics, those micro
Yeah.
fabrics handy at all times, and it's just like it's not a big deal for me at all. What about you, Sanjay?
No,
No.
not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wash it, or you just
Yeah.
clean up. A lot of these watches are smudge magnets.
Yeah.
You just just deal with it. It's no big deal for me.
Yeah.
The next one is the moon swatch. Lots of things, right, that we can gripe about with the moon swatch. She said it was too loud. That was the thing. The ticking of the quartz movement was too loud. Now I own a moon swatch, so I put this to the test because I don't have the best hearing in the world, but I put it up to my ear and I actually compared it with one of my wife's Timex watches, and it wasn't as loud as the Timex, and also like kind of just a crispier ticking than the Timex sounded like grindy, crunchy. So I don't. She must
Yeah.
have amazing hearing because I don't sleep in the same room as my watches. So maybe in the dead quiet of night,
Yeah.
it would I could hear it a little bit more. But boy, I had to put it right up to my ear to even hear it. So
Yeah.
I don't get her with that one. Does that ever bother you guys on quartz watches? How
Not me.
loud a tick is? No.
No, I even have a watch winder going right next to my head at night. So sometimes I don't care.
And then the Santos, a watch that great video just released tonight by Sanjay.
Oh yeah, with Sanjay. Yeah.
And then she just said lack of micro adjust. The bracelet tech is amazing on the Santos. Toolless link removal system. Now, this is I've talked about Grand Seiko being an issue because of the lack of micro adjust. I did not really have that problem on the Santos. The links are small enough where I could dial it in. Now it fit a little worse in the summer, but boy, in like the cooler months, it really fit great. So that was not a huge problem for me on the Santos. I don't know if in your time with Marcus's Santos, Sanjay, if you had any issues with getting a good fit on it.
No, I tend to wear my watches ever so slightly loose. At the same time, I don't mind them being a little tight when the heat hits or the humidity hits. So I'm not too fussy about sizing. It was perfect for me. Like those links are small enough that you can get a pretty good fit.
Yeah.
If you don't like to go real tight, just straight.
My only experience with the Santos is the one that had me and Mrs. Leg shared, and it had like a rubber strap. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. I may not have liked that watch so much, but mine came with a rubber strap. So if it was a warm summer day, like last summer, I wore it almost exclusively on the rubber strap. And then when the weather got cooler, I wore it on the bracelet and I had no problem. So yeah, that rubber strap is great and it comes with it. So, or it came with mine anyway. Her next complaint, I agree with 100%. She did a hair ad, thinning hair ad. I can totally, that's number one complaint here. So one I wholeheartedly 100% agree with. And then she talked about next the Seamaster. Bezel action. Reason I probably sold all of them, and number one probably why I will never buy one. The bezel action is just not great. It's hard to grip the scalloped edges. It doesn't sound very good. Like she's right. The Tudor Black Bay 58, 54 bezel. The 54 I tried at the AD that was some sweet bezel action. And then I didn't remember it in mine, but she said there's some complaints about backplay in the Seamaster bezel. But yeah, it's not a bezel I can get a good grip on at all. As someone who likes to use bezels as fidget spinners, not a good fidget spinner.
Yeah, the Seamaster bezel action is actually quite almost embarrassing.
Yeah, it's really not good. Doesn't sound good either.
It's surprising because the Planet Ocean's bezel action is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, sure, the scalloped edges are a design thing, but they could use the click spring from the Planet Ocean, I would think, right?
And Planet Ocean are fine. I've handled those and rotated the bezel because I wasn't sure. I was like, oh gosh, is this the Omega thing or no? They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the GMT Master 2, she just said the Jubilee bracelet is a bit hard to clean. Very comfortable. She loves it. Just hard to, you really have to get in there with a toothbrush. And then the BB58, again, lack of micro adjust. Hopefully they, across the board, go to the T-Fit with those. I'm hoping at some point. But yeah, it's probably going to be hard for you to go back to a regular Black Bay 58 now that you have the bronze with the T-Fit, Sanjay, because that's just a great clasp system. So that's her list of little complaints.
Yeah, as somebody who does YouTube content, like, it's I tend to like now like do reviews when I do them with watches that I like or watches that are my own. So I usually focus more on positive things, and sometimes I'll bring up something that's negative or not. But I get what she's saying in a sense that you kind of like have to overanalyze, because you almost feel like you're legitimizing a positive review by pointing out some things that are not so great about the watch. And sometimes the watch is just fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just fine. Nothing's perfect. It's just fine. And so, like stuff like the micro adjust on the Black Bay 58. Well, when I had my time with the Black Bay, it fit perfectly. I didn't need a micro adjust. You know what I mean? I've never had a Seamaster, so I don't know anything about the bezel action. But if it's that bad, then it's that bad. I mean, I get it. I don't know. Sometimes the watches are just fine, though. Yeah.
I wish on the regular Black Bay 58 they had 4 holes of micro adjust, but instead of 3. That would be my one complaint. I don't really mind that setup, but just give me 4.
Or 3 and half links.
Yeah,
like 2 half links and 3 holes. It would have worked.
It took another company to make a half link for people to get really good fit.
It did. The funny thing about this video is I was listening to it before, like, today, and my wife happened to be in the room, and she was watching the video with me. I didn't know. I was just watching it, and I could hear her eyes roll so hard. Because Watch Gringo was using Britt, she was using like hyperbolic language, right? Like, oh, I was heartbroken when this happened.
Yeah.
And I see the smudges and it just crushed my soul, or something like that. And she looked at, I happened to look over, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, that poor thing." So, dripping with sarcasm.
She has it rough.
I wasn't thinking anything of it because I use this kind of language too, but it was funny to hear that and get that reality check. That reality brick wall hit me too.
That poor thing can't enjoy her Rolex Daytona as much.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Okay, let's see what the chat's got to say. Don't mind polished links on the Jubilee, but not a fan on the Oyster, says BJ. Brett doesn't care much for them on steel. Unachieving watch collector. I'm blessed. I don't like chronographs, including the Daytona. My bank account thanks me. Yeah, right. Pepsi on Jubilee is damn near perfect. Sanjay, I brushed the center links on a Tissot Gentleman. Still sold it. I bought the brushes on eBay. That's what the Vigorous says.
Well, the Longines Hydro Conquest, I actually listed the brush bracelet as a perk. And it was one of the few watches I actually sold privately.
Yeah.
There you
go. Yeah. Detroit Spark, if I could go the rest of my life with never hearing about another Moonswatch, I'd be happy again. I hear you.
Better not listen to my podcast then. I wax poetic on that thing every week, it seems. I'm getting a little sick of it myself.
Big Racer, for me, it's the auto winders. I had to sell them too noisy for me to sleep at night. Let's see here. Scrolling.
Keep scrolling.
Omega, yeah. That's not fair. Detroit's fine. She's not, I mean, like she's got a personality for YouTube. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's phony per se, but I think she's, I think she tries. Yeah, I mean, I think she's a nice person. I mean, and like I know, like Watch Gringa was like a persona, or maybe not. Maybe she was a little, drinky, as Watch Gringa. But I kind of do enjoy Brit now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Maybe it was
It's not.
nerves that she was drinking, nerves being on camera, because that was right when she started. Now she's a lot more comfortable, it seems.
Perhaps.
You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe she just needed a drink or two to get the courage to do it.
It seemed like a ditzy personality before, right? I really like her now. Like
Hmm.
she's such a huge improvement for me to listen to, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think so. I
yeah.
think so. Detroit Spartan not buying it though. That's fine. That's fine. Um, we don't have to always like everybody, so it's all good. Totally understand. Um, wow, we made it, guys. We made it to another
Yes.
episode of the Soup. Um, really enjoyed that one. Hey, Clayton, what do we got going with a Watchdog podcast coming up? So anything?
Mr. Sanjay was the
Yeah,
guest
Sanjay.
yesterday. I think it was my longest episode to date. We went off on some tangents, but left him in because I think it was fun. It's always
Yeah.
fun talking to him. It had been a while since he'd been on and we've had a chance to chat. So
Awesome. Look forward to listening to that one.
yeah, and
Even went into parenting, you know.
yeah,
Ooh.
a real authority here with no children.
Right.
Yeah,
to
but
give some sage
you got
advice.
fur babies. You got fur babies, man. I
Right,
mean,
Yeah.
like
right.
it's good shows too.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and I'll be in Detroit in a few weeks and hope to meet up with Detroit Spartan and Craig and a few other guys. So, looking forward to that.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hey, Sandy, what do you got going on?
What do I have going on? I should be reviewing a Batman, or just I've got the Batman. It's kind of similar to the Pepsi, just
Yeah,
just a little bit.
yeah, it's just a little
Not
different.
that similar,
Yeah,
It's completely different watch.
yeah.
But I'd like to just talk about it a bit. Marcus let me borrow it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that
Um,
Marcus hookup is working out really well,
Wow.
man. He's got
Yeah.
some great watches for you.
yeah,
It's awesome,
I'm
man.
itching to see the Panerai next, so
Yeah,
hopefully, hopefully soon.
awesome.
Yeah, that's about it going on right now.
Cool, cool. And hey, look, again, I want to thank the guys over at Horology Talk for letting us post the video there,
Yeah.
and uh,
Thank you.
and and look, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Chat, you're awesome. Thanks again for your full attention and support. Always. See you guys on the Bobby Legs channel Tuesday for another live stream. Clayton, Sanjay, have a good one. Everyone, good night. Take
Night.
care.
Good night,
Night.
guys.